Hello, I'm Kevin Grimes, Chief Executive Officer here at Grimes & Company, and I'm here with another installment of the Bitcoin Diaries for you. Today is April 8th after the close, exactly 1 week before tax day. Make sure you get your taxes filed. As always, please read all of the disclosures after this presentation. And remember that this is not specific investment advice. Bitcoin is extremely volatile. This is simply some thoughts for those that are considering times to add long-term positions in Bitcoin. What's the relative attractiveness of Bitcoin at any given point in time? We're here to look at the pros and the cons of where we are with the price of Bitcoin and the market behavior. As you know, we are looking at price trends. Bitcoin is very difficult, if not impossible, to value on a fundamental basis. So we're looking at technical analysis here, folks. As always, we're looking at trends. We are looking at cycles, trying to determine potential tops and bottoms. We are looking at potential overbought and oversold conditions. We're looking at price channels. We're trying to look at what is the overall direction of Bitcoin and the potential for price changes from a very long-term perspective. Despite all of the volatility over the past month, of course, with the Iran war and even today with the ceasefire, Bitcoin has been relatively stable. And so I want to share that with you. So here we are, looking at the price of Bitcoin. Remember, just for a bit of a backdrop, Bitcoin was in a multi-year upward normal distribution that was violated here back late in the fourth quarter in November. At the time, we didn't know it, but a downward distribution had started at that time. It's evident at this point. You can see it here with the downward distribution. Looking at some of the signals that we follow, RSI, the relative strength indicator, again, it's a signal that's available basically in any charting package. It's very common. It looks at price strength relative to recent prices, and it can help determine short-term trends. It also is very good at determining overbought and oversold conditions. Where we are today, Bitcoin's been in the middle of the range, kind of in between 40 and 60, really for the past month. So we would consider that stable short-term trends. You can see that mirrors the price level here, stable prices with the low being put back in early February on February 5th. So RSI is in neutral territory and stable. Our trend indicator that's the next one down in yellow. Our proprietary trend score is negative, but is well off its worst levels and is improving. Today was a sharp improvement. You can see that cupping pattern right there. Still in negative territory, but improving off of lows. So again, a modestly positive sign, considering that Bitcoin's down 45% from its all-time high. The bottom study here is a very interesting one. This again is a proprietary indicator that we have here. We're using digital signal processing technology in order to look at the cycle of Bitcoin price, and we're looking at a window of basically half a quarter to half a year. And you can see that Bitcoin has signaled some potential bottoms in price, but most recently back in February timeframe. And during that time frame, this low cycle also is accompanied by oversold RSI indicator. And indeed, Bitcoin did put in a bottom. You can see here on that February 5th time frame, and that bottom has held. And so now we have Bitcoin going sideways for about a total of 2 months and hanging in there despite the overall markets going lower. Both the stock markets declined substantially in March, as did the bond markets. So now we're at an interesting point. So now, after having put in these lows and having stabilized, now Bitcoin is bumping up against the high end of this declining distribution channel. So we're at a very interesting crossroads for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin were to break out of this channel, that would be a bullish signal. We would interpret that as a bullish signal, one that the lows for now are in, and that Bitcoin could potentially be establishing a new price pattern. However, if Bitcoin were to decline from here and settle back into that downward distribution range, then we would have to seriously consider the threat of new lows and a resumption of the downtrend. So kind of at a important crossroads for Bitcoin. But considering that Bitcoin's down 45% from its all-time high, that there's evidence that the bottoming process of the past 2 months is held, and also some evidence that there's the potential for a reversal in trend and now breaking out of the range, we would award Bitcoin a very modestly positive score. So on our scale of 1 to 7, 1 being terrible and 7 being very good, and 4 being neutral, we're rating Bitcoin a 5, which is the same score we put Bitcoin at a month ago. If we see Bitcoin move out of this range, then we will be quick to move Bitcoin to an even more attractive score. That said, if Bitcoin settles back into the range, we'll move to neutral and potentially even negative if we are going to violate new lows. So there you have it, folks. It's been a not boring month in the markets, but in the grand scheme of things, much to do about nothing for Bitcoin. We're going to see where we go from here. It's an important inflection point. Stay tuned for future Bitcoin Diaries. We can take a look at what happens next. Thank you very much.